Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning.
Hi there, everybody.
Hi, I'm Jane, and I live in Florence. I'm originally from the United States, and I'm a teacher at my English school in Baracca. So, Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah, my name is Sarah. Like Jane, I work in Florence, so we work together for good or for bad. And I'm from England, so you've got an English and you've got an American teacher today.
Fantastic.
So we can have a fight about what is the best way to speak, whether it's in English or in American.
Absolutely. Okay. So today, why don't we talk about our focus activity? You want to read that?
Yeah, sure I will. It's focus activity 8 to 10. What's the word? And for everybody listening, if you want to just put your name and introduce yourself in the chat, we can give you a shout out and we can say hi. So remember that you can just literally put your name in and where you're from, and then we can make it a bit more interactive this way. So if anybody's out there listening, just do that right now.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. Perfect. Let's go on to the next slide, which is our objectives. And you want to go ahead and read that, Sarah?
Yeah, sure. So as we said before, the title of the focus is What's the Word? And in this focus activity, describing unknown objects, checking comprehension, and relative pronouns.
Ooh, okay. So let's go ahead and go on, start our little activities. Okay. All right. So we have here who, where, that. Okay. So number one, what is the name of the place where you borrow books? Where you borrow? Didn't you do a video on the word borrow?
I certainly did, because borrow and lend, two of the most confusing verbs that we have in the English language, certainly for Italian students. The borrowing is what you do if you don't have something and you want to have something for a limited time. And lending is when you have the thing and you're prepared to give it to the person who doesn't have it. So, for example, the name of the place where you borrow books, it's different from the place where you buy books, because if you buy books, you obviously buy them and then they become yours. If you borrow books, then you don't actually own them, but you take them for a limited amount of time and then you have to return them. So basically, the difference between borrow and lend is the place where you borrow books is you do the borrowing because you don't have the thing. But if you actually look at the place where you actually go to have them, the place would lend you the books because they have the books to lend. So that's the reason why there's the difference between borrow and lend. So what's the name of the place?
Yeah, what's the name of the place, Sarah?
That is not a bookshop, as some people say. The bookshop is where you go to buy the books, but it's actually called a library.
Yeah, a library.
Yeah, have you been to the library here in Florence, Jane? Do you belong to a library?
No, do you? I've been here for 30 years and I don't go to the library, but when this whole crisis with the coronavirus ends, one of the first places I'm going to go is Oblate, because they say it's unbelievable. My children have gone, so I would like to go to that library.
Well, the other thing about libraries, I've been to Oblate, I've been to lots of libraries, and also for the people listening, if you actually want to improve your English, I was amazed at the section of English language books in the in the library. So actually in the libraries, they have dedicated sections to foreign language books. So if you actually want to improve your English, it's a great way to actually borrow books and not have to buy them to understand if they're too difficult or the thing you enjoy. And so for all of you out there, I really suggest that you use the services that your local council provides, because I've certainly used it to improve my Italian. So I borrow Italian books from the library and read as much as I can in Italian, because reading is the best way to improve your vocabulary, which is one of the most difficult things to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was awesome. Number 2, what do you call the person who works there? Does anybody know? Anyone want to shout out and tell me they know?
Well, it's interesting, actually, because I was going to say something. You know how you have, for example, you have typical things like a policeman, a fireman, and you could say, well, they'd be called a library man. But in this case, it's not.
No, it's not. And sometimes we use this to add to our nouns, and they become people that do that job. So it's IAN, and we call the person that works there a librarian. Okay. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah,
Number 3.
before you move on, I was going to give another example. For example, somebody who works with electricity, you talk about an electrician, or somebody who works technical things, and it would be a technician. So we use the IAN for lots of different things, like politics at the moment. The person who works in politics.
Absolutely. Politician. Okay. I think they're called agent nouns. I think that's what they're called. Agent
I have no idea.
Well, we're returning a noun into the activity. Not all of them end in IAN. A lot of them do. Some end in, for example, a mechanic.
Yeah.
So it depends.
I don't know if it's any ones. A teacher. We don't have a teaching. We're called teachers, not teachings.
Teacher. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
So not all. Some. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Number 3. What is the thing that you use to save your place in a book called? Ooh, that's a good one.
I wonder if it's the same in American as it is in English. I know that I have lots of them. I read all the time, so I have lots of books. And my favorite one of these is it's like a reindeer from Sweden. And it's got a big head at the top, and then its little feet stick out the bottom. Yeah. And that's my favorite one of these. It's cool. Yeah. But really? I've got loads of them.
Okay, so what do we call it? In England, what do you call it?
We call it a bookmark.
Yes, we do too. It's a bookmark. Yeah, okay. Okay. Same.
Yeah.
The same. Fantastic. You have lots of bookmarks.
Yeah, I do. They're all over the place.
I'm a savage. Fold the page. Oh, I'm a savage. I really am.
Oh my God, you're my worst nightmare. Oh, the people that fold books. Oh, I'm never lending you a book.
Don't lend me a book. Don't lend me a book. Or if I borrow a book from you, I promise not to bend the pages. If I
don't believe you. I don't believe you. You will do.
No. Can we watch the video, or is it not possible? Do you know?
No, it's too difficult, I think, with the so I think we skip this bit.
Okay, but we could try to name things. So here we have play pyramid. Should we try to take a look at some of these?
I was going to say, should I describe the game? because that way we can, without the video, which is too difficult to see. Basically, Pyramid is a game. It's a game show in America, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a great game. It was an amazing game. Yeah.
Because we didn't have it in the UK. But from what I understand, Pyramid is a game where you have a contestant that is trying to understand what the word is from a description, but you're not allowed to say the word. So it's a bit like, I think, Taboo. Is it called Taboo? The board game. So it's basically, yeah, exactly. So you're not allowed to say the word, but you have to describe it using anything you can to help the other person guess what the word is.
Awesome. Actually, it's a really fun game if you play it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to try to just take a look at the images and describe them to each other without using the word. Huh?
Yeah.
You think?
Should we read the different categories first, or do you want to read the categories and I'll choose a category?
Okay. So the categories are things you find in your house, things you find at the office, things you see at the zoo, things you see at the beach, places tourists like to visit. I'm sorry, I'll have to get that from her. You can put in your pocket. Okay, so let me go on to the next slide.
Can I just say, things you find in your house? Is it an animal that has 4 legs and is very badly behaved?
Yes,
That'd be your dog, I would guess.
Okay, so if I was to say, okay, so the next slide, we've got things you find in your house. So I would, how would you describe the first image, Sarah? How would you describe that?
Okay, so basically when you're describing images, you can think about different things, but there's mainly a fixed kind of list of things to consider. So firstly, we've got color. We've got, so in the first instance, the color would be white, but then there's a part of it that is clear or transparent. Okay, so you can talk about the color, first of all. Then you can move on to the shape. This case, it's an easy one. So this is a rectangular shape with square. So there's 6 square shapes within a bigger rectangular shape, for example. So you're looking at shape, and it could be round or, I don't know, square or rectangular or a pyramid or maybe uneven shape, or something which is difficult to describe, like in the next.
How about function? How about function?
So,
Function's gonna.
Yeah, so function is one where you're thinking, okay, why do you need the thing? So this one is when you can start using, and what's interesting is we often use the passive to say it is used for. So obviously you're looking at things like, for example, in this case, it is used for, or it is used to, if you're going to use a verb. So this one, it is used to see from inside the house to outside the house. So you can use it to see things. Or if you want to use for, it is used for light. Okay, so you use for plus a noun. Okay, so you're looking at that. It's used for light in the house, or it is used to see things out of the window.
Window. You lose.
Fail.
Okay, so you could say, okay, function and category. For example, the next one, I could say it's an unwanted animal. in your house. So category, animal.
Yeah.
All right.
So it could be, for example, the window is an inanimate object, as opposed to an animate object, which is obviously in this case a mouse. God, I'm rubbish at this game, which is an animal.
Rubbish. So I could say for the mouse, I would say it's small. It squeaks. That's the noise it makes.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah.
It lives in the house sometimes. It's unwanted. It's not a pet. And elephants are afraid of them.
Do you have an elephant in your house?
I do.
Along with the dog, an elephant, and now you have a mouse as well. Yeah. In fact, you live in the zoo.
I do. I live in the zoo. Okay, so that could be a way to describe the mouse. All right, let's go on to the next one. How would you describe the next one?
Now this is difficult because in terms of color, material, and shape, you can't really say because everybody's different. So you couldn't actually use those ones.
You could use category. You could say it's a person.
And you could use function.
Oh, you could. It's the person that has children. Right? Or?
Yeah. Or you could talk about activities. So, for example, she stereotypically she cooks, she cleans, she looks after children, she does the washing, she does the washing up, she does the ironing, and she probably works because most of these people are usually very busy and have to multitask, I would suggest.
Okay.
And you could use it also in saying she's probably the most important person in the household, I would say, as well. So you can talk about the importance of somebody. But yeah, you can. I think another way is definitely to describe the activities of the person or of the object. You're trying to describe them.
Category, function, activity. For animate objects, like you said, you would use maybe category and activity. What do they do?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas in the inanimate object, you're looking at more color, function, shape, because they are usually, if in production, people produce things to be the same. And that's the difference between the animate objects, which are all different and therefore quite difficult to describe, as opposed to the inanimate objects, which are usually produced and are more fixed with what they are.
Okay, perfect. It's nice. Like that. Okay. Oh, look at this. Things you find at the office.
I can't see it. Have you moved your screen on? I can't see the new screen. No, I can't see it.
All right, so you want to, let me take it. This is a problem that I had on the other lessons. So, still is not up, huh?
No, it's not. Hang on a minute. Why don't I go?
You want to
yeah, I need to find the thing first of all. So let me download the lesson my side, and then I should be able to share it. So let me just download that first. 2 ticks, and I will be with you.
Sure, absolutely. So these are going to be things that you find at the office. So I'm going to ask without even showing you the image. I'm going to start describing it so that you can try to guess what it is, Sarah.
Okay. Okay.
So things you find at the office, we have. We just talked about this little small animal, and it's a small animal that lives in the house, but we also use it to talk about an object that helps you move around your computer screen.
Aha, mouse. Mouse.
Yes.
It must be mouse.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
All right.
That's cheating. You used it. You used the slide before to help you describe it. But,
I know, I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to do that.
okay. Do you want me
Okay,
to try and
so-
share my screen and see if you can come out and
Because
see?
I
Let
know
me.
that you're able to at some point. Yeah. You want to share your screen?
Let me see if I can do that. Okay, I've shared my screen. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Oh, great. Perfect. Oh,
Can you
thank
see
you,
that?
Sarah.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
I can. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So this game is lots of fun if Sarah didn't see it or couldn't see it. So now I'm going to describe, no, Sarah, why don't you go ahead and describe the next object?
This is more difficult because if you, a lot of Italians won't know the word for this, so you can describe it and know what it is, and then you end up going, oh, it does this, and then nobody knows what it's called. But the this thing is actually used in the office to join
What's the
two
function?
pieces. Yeah, it's to join two pieces of paper together with using a metal object that has a name similar to the object that I'm describing, and at the action of doing it, the metal becomes bent, so it joins them together. And generally, the objects are small enough to hold in your hand, so they are used by hand, and they come in different colors, so you can get them in all different colors, and they are made of metal. I think they must be aluminium or something. I don't know.
Okay, perfect. I would say I would describe it as something you use to attach paper together.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go on. And the word is stapler. Stapler.
And the verb is to staple. And
Nice.
the things that you put in the stapler are also called staples. So
Stapled. Okay, you have the object, the little small objects themselves, the bigger object that we use to attach the staples, and what did we say? We have staples, stapler, and to staple, the
staple.
action itself. Okay, perfect. Oh, okay, so this is the person that you meet when you walk into a company. She's the first person that you usually see at the desk when you enter into a company.
Mm-hmm. You could also say that she is the person that answers the telephone in a company.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that's even better.
Well, it's the two things, because she does both. She is there for the face-to-face visitors, and she's also there for the people who telephone.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. You want to go on to the next slide?
Well, I'm going to go on to the next slide, but I'm not going to show you guys what it is yet. Or I don't think I can't do that. I can't do that, though. You can do that. You can go on to the next slide.
You can't? You didn't pull up your extra slide?
Yeah,
because but if you should have it.
Oh, let me see. Ah, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. I'm actually not going to look. I tell you what, I'm not going to look at it.
Okay.
I'm going to sit back and you are going to describe and I'm going to try to guess.
Okay. So the first picture that I can see, it's an animal. It doesn't live in your house. Well, I hope it might live in your house, but no, it shouldn't live in your house. It's a big animal, and
Okay.
it lives in places like Africa. And
Okay.
actually, in your house, you have not the dog, but the other animal you have in your house.
Yeah.
It's the big one of
Okay.
those, and it generally is considered quite dangerous. And
A
the
lion?
noise it makes,
Lion?
yes, exactly, yeah,
Okay.
good.
Can you
And
spell?
the noise it, sorry.
No, it was my dog playing with her toy.
Ah. So the noise that a lion makes, it roars. So a lion
Oh,
roars. So,
nice.
you were talking about the
Lion
sound of
roar.
a mouse. So the sound the mouse makes, it squeaks, but this time the lion roars. Okay, so number
Okay.
two.
What is
Now
an elephant? What sound does an elephant make? Do you know in English? Because I know
I
in Italian, carisce, but in English, do elephants make a sound?
I think they harumph.
No.
I
Do they
think they do. I
harumph?
think they harumph. I
I didn't
I
know
don't
that.
know. I'm gonna have a go at writing it, but harumph. I think it's like
No, it's not
harumph or
possible.
something. I don't know. I'm not sure. It, you have to,
I have to look
yeah,
it up later. No, I'll have to look it up later.
yeah, I've no idea. Homework to anyone watching. What is the noise that an elephant makes? I don't know, Jane. I have no idea. I think it's harumph.
Okay.
I don't I don't know. Anyway,
Wow.
moving
Okay.
on. The second one. Okay, this person works in a place which has animals. So, like I said before, the lion you find in Africa, but you also find lions in Italy and in the UK, but they are in a special place where you can
A
visit
circus?
and you can see. Sorry?
A circus? A circus?
Not a circus, because a circus is temporary. This is a place that is always in this. It's always in the same place, and it has
Okay.
lots of different animals that come from different parts in the world. And you usually
Oh,
go maybe with your children to see it. For example,
yeah.
with
Okay, so
in
zoo?
yeah,
Zoo?
exactly. So the place is the zoo,
Uh-huh.
and this is the
Okay.
person that works in the zoo.
The zookeeper.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yay.
Good. Okay. And the third picture that I have is this is the animal where we don't know what the sound is that it makes. It has 4 legs, it's grey, it's big, and it lives in Africa. It also lives in India.
Mhm.
And again,
Mhm.
it's one of the biggest mammals, I think, on land, if not the biggest. And it has a
Could it
very
be
long
the?
nose.
Oh, I think it must be an elephant.
Yes, you are right. Very good.
Yay! An
Okay,
elephant.
so let's move on to the next slide. And Jane, you can have a go at describing the next objects for me. And this time it's everything you can see at the beach.
Okay, so I want you to not look at the slides, please,
Okay.
Sarah.
Okay. Not
Okay,
looking.
so if you're at the beach, many people are afraid to go into the water because they're afraid that they might get eaten by this animal. And there was a really famous film. The film was called Jaws. And it's a big animal, but very dangerous. Okay. And many people are afraid of it. And,
It must be a shark, I would have said.
yeah,
Yeah.
shark. It's a shark.
I was
Very
going to
good.
say jellyfish, but then you said eaten. and jellyfish don't eat you, they sting you. So when you
They
said that
sting
people are
you,
afraid to go in the water, I'm afraid to go in the water because of jellyfish. But yeah, they sting you, they don't eat you. So you're when you said what they did, so the activity that they do is what made me decide if it was a jellyfish or a shark.
Yeah, and also you could say that sharks also are very aggressive. Jellyfish aren't really aggressive. They're kind of just there, and if you get in the way, they'll sting you.
Yeah, that's very
Right?
true. Very true. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so the next one is what little children and some adults love to do on the beach. They like to make this particular type of construction on the beach. Only on the beach can you make it. Huh?
What's it made of?
I can't tell you what it's made of because it's part of the word, but some people don't like what it's made of. Some people find it because it's very, very, very fine and very small. And then the second part of the word is where princes and princesses live.
Aha,
So
okay, so we're talking about sand castle.
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah.
So here,
Yeah.
okay, you move right now. Tilly, sorry. All right, you just get you. Wait 1 second, Tilly. Go outside.
You see, I
Sorry.
have a dog, but my dog is sleeping, and it's very quiet, as opposed to Jane's dog, which is obviously mental and just needs to play the whole time. Very characteristic of our characters. They say that dogs reflect your personality and your character. My dog is sleeping. I'm not sure what it says about me. Your dog is just mental and playing and making a lot of noise.
Well, you know what it is. She's a puppy, so she likes to play, and she gets these stupid animals that have those squeaky noises, and she, chews on that and makes a lot of noise. Okay. So the last one is, have you ever seen the show Baywatch? So these
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff, the man. And these people watch all the people that are swimming to make sure that they are safe. These people work at public pools, lakes, oceans, and they're the people that watch so that if somebody's having difficulty swimming or in the water, they will go to save them.
Then that must be lifeguard.
Yes, yay! Yeah.
It's interesting actually because you use for example, if you have a bank and the entrance to a big bank, you have a guard. It's not a lifeguard, but it's a security guard.
Oh, that's
so
right.
You actually use the word guard for different things. So they are a lifeguard because they are looking after your life. And they are security guards because they are looking after the security of the bank. I don't think there are any other guards.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking. The only thing that comes to mind is guardian angel. So guardian in that respect, but it's not the same word. It's not the same thing as a guard.
Yeah.
Security guard. I think that's probably it. But okay. I can't think of any other ones. Okay, right, so let's move on to the next one. Places tourists like to visit. Shall I describe them to you?
Oh, sure. I'll pretend I didn't see anything. Okay.
Okay. Well, this is a place. All the three that I'm going to describe are places, And so we have to try and differentiate the places by saying what the places are used for, because otherwise you can't talk about the color or the size or the shape, because all places are very different. So it's very difficult to be able to explain that without thinking about the actual function and the activities that happen there. So the first place I'm going to describe, this is where you go with your children, usually, but you can also go as adults. And this is where you go to see fish. So like we have the zoo, which has animals, this place has fish, has sharks, has jellyfish, and the fish are in a part of the place, and you walk through the places, having a look at the different fish. So you're surrounded by water, but you are dry. So you're not actually in the water, but you are looking at the water with the fish in. So what's the name of that place?
That place is called, I think, the aquarium, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Right. Because I didn't see that one. So yes, very good explanation. Yes, very good.
And then the other place I'm going to describe is this is where you go if you want to. Again, it's an activity that you do usually with the family or with your friends, and like the aquarium, you go there to see things. But this time it's not water. You go there to look at, maybe it could be pictures, or it could be objects that have been found, or it could be a story about something in history. It could be a collection of objects which have the same thing, but which are for educational purposes. So in London, for example, probably the most famous one of these has a collection of all the things from all over the world that the British took when they were traveling and when they were conquering different parts of the world. They took things and then they put them all in this place, and then you can go and see them in this place. So what's that?
I think it's a museum.
And what's the name of the famous museum in London that has all the different objects from all over the world?
Isn't it the National?
No, it's the British Museum.
The British, yes, and I've been. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we stole a lot of things from a lot of places in all the world. What's the most famous museum in America?
I'm a big fan of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I absolutely, every time I am in New York, I go. And I try to just see one or two rooms, because there's so much, and I like to be able to concentrate on a small amount, because then you're never going to remember any of it if you go and try to see everything in one day. But the Metropolitan is it's just incredible. I just love the Metropolitan Museum of Art in Your City. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. But there's some smaller museums that are really nice too.
Yeah, what's your favorite museum in Florence?
Well, I mean, for me, the Uffizi is something that can't be repeated anywhere by any museum in the world. But you're asking me, my degree is in art history, and my master's is in painting conservation. So, for me, the Uffizi is the only, it's the top.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a very big museum, a bit like the Metropolitan. You have to go and you have to take your time, because otherwise it's very difficult to see it all, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Florence is kind of exceptional because there's so much to see, and you really have to take the time to go and see each of these different. There's so much,
Yeah,
in one place.
Okay. The last picture is difficult for me to describe, actually. This is a place where it's a very old place, and the building is not complete because the building has been destroyed in the past. It's not destroyed completely because there are some parts of the building that remain, but it is not a building where you could live because it's not inhabitable. So effectively, it's very, very old, and it's the word that we give to buildings which have been destroyed and therefore are not complete.
Ooh. Well, I'm
Any
gonna
idea?
say, because yeah, I just saw it, but I think realistically I would have a tough time identifying it if I hadn't seen it. Okay, but the thing is, something that's very, very old, we say yes, it's ancient, and here we have ancient ruins. But I think this was a tough one.
Yeah, it is. It's very difficult. And by the way, just to shout out, hi, Diomira di Berardino. We have a watcher. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Yeah. And I see, yeah, children make sandcastles. Careful with your spelling. Remember, sandcastle, spelling is like that. So we say sandcastle. But yeah, very good. And lucky for you to live in front of the beach. That's really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Be careful of those sharks in the water.
No, there's no shark. Maybe just some, what do we say? Jellyfish. Maybe there's some jellyfish there.
Okay, the last one.
Okay,
Jane, do you want to do some descriptions?
Yes, but don't look, because I ended up looking and it
I've not
ruins
looked.
it.
I've not looked.
Okay, so this thing, you use it to, okay, so first of all, things you can put in your pocket.
Okay.
Things you can put in your pocket. Okay, so this is what we put money in, and we put our credit cards in it, and it's usually small, and it folds in half, and we also, some of them you can also put your coins into. So you can put your coins.
I think I know. Is it a purse?
No, it's another name for a purse. And see, we call it, we use a whole different term for it. The British use purse. We don't use the word purse for that object.
Oh, okay.
No. Purse for us is a small handbag. That's a purse.
Oh, okay. For us, purse is the thing that a woman has for her money.
Oh, well, this is for the man. Usually,
for the man is a wallet. So we have purse for the women.
But you see, we use wallet both for men and for women in the United States.
Go. For me, purse is for women, and then wallet is for men. So, well, since we've got Diomira on the line, Diomira, do you want to write your description for the next object? So you can see the second object in the picture. Do you want to have a go at writing a sentence or two sentences to describe the thing in the middle of the picture? And in the meantime, Jane, while Diomira's doing that.
And I'm going to do the third one then. Diomira's going to try maybe come up with something for the middle object, and I'm going to describe the last object. Okay. So we're going to wait for Diomira maybe to key in. So this is it's part of our bodies. It's at the end of our arms. It's attached to the wrist, and we put it inside our pockets whenever we want, just to relax. And there are 5 fingers.
4 fingers and 1 thumb.
4 fingers and 1 thumb. Thumb is not a
I-
finger.
No, it's a thumb.
I always thought it was a thing.
Unless you have 5 fingers and a
No.
thumb, because you've got 6. I don't know. 6 fingers.
You know what, Sarah? We definitely have to pair up again. No, really. We need to be paired.
I don't know. I don't know. So if you say 5 fingers, then 5 fingers and 2 thumbs, that means you've got 12 digits. Digit is the word you use. So you've got 5 digits, but not 5 fingers, unless you're a bit strange.
You learn something new every day. Okay.
Maybe you do it differently in America. I think it's hand. Anyway, you're describing a hand, definitely.
Sorry, I need to be more professional. Okay, so Diomira, have you come up with anything? If not, I'm going to start to describe this or these things to Sarah. All right,
Okay.
so Sarah, these objects are what we use to enter into a house. We put it into a lock to open a door, to open the car, to open a safe sometimes.
Okay. What are they made of?
They're made of metal, usually either silver or gold color. And we tend to lose them all the time.
Yeah, definitely. That's very, very true. Yeah. And you would also put your hands in your pockets to get them, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So they must be keys. Must be keys.
Yes. Yay, they're keys.
Very good. Awesome. Very good. Okay. I think Diomira may be on delay, but yes, I like to visit museums. I think the most is Uffizi. Live in Paris.
And the
Hermitage in St. Petersburg. Yeah. Amazing museum. Amazing museum. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're so lucky. You've never been.
Oh, it's amazing. No sharks in Pescara.
Okay, let's keep that plural. Diomira. No shark would mean that there's not one shark. So no shark. Oh, good. Perfect.
Yeah, she's got it. Likewise with museum. I like to visit museums.
Oh,
and we usually use
Mauro. Look we usually use keys to enter in a house or to turn the car on or for something else. Okay, the point is that we're not supposed to use the word. We're trying to make a description without using the word. But very good, very good. Huh?
Yeah, very good. Okay, and let's have a look just at the last slide. We've got time to have a look at this. Jane, do you want to read for me, Filippo, and I will be Lisa.
Okay, I'm going to pull up my slide because it's so small that on my slide, even though you can't. Okay. You have a different slide than I have. How funny. You have a totally, how strange. Okay, what's the word? You said you're Filippo and I'm Lisa?
You're Filippo, I'm Lisa.
Okay, excuse me. I'm looking for a type of vegetable, but I'm not, what is that word? Sure what it's called in English.
No problem. Let's see if we can figure it out. Can you describe it to me?
Well, it's long, round, and green. It's the vegetable that you use to make tzatziki sauce. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. That's a cucumber. If you go straight down the aisle and turn left, you'll be in the produce section. The cucumbers are in the corner near the carrots. Got it?
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So we can see from here. Let me see if I can bring up some of the words. Okay. So Jane, do you want me to? Can you read those, or shall I read the different?
Yes, I can read those. Yes. No, I can read those.
Good?
Those I can read. How do the speakers check that the other has understood them?
Yeah, so in the sentences on the left, we can see, does that make sense? Got it? Okay. Do you understand? Is it clear? Okay, there are lots of different ways that we can say and ask the question.
Can you describe it to me also? No?
That would be a description, but it's not if you have understood. So understood is, for example, do you understand what I have said? But can you describe to me is a new question. Yeah. What would you say in American? Which one would you say? I would say does that make sense? For me, got it is very American, and I wouldn't use got it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, I think, does that make sense? I think I would use that too. Got it is very...
It's very... Sorry, you froze on me. It's very informal. Yeah, very informal.
It's very informal, and I might not use got it, you know, like, I think that could be used with somebody that maybe you know, or... But does that make sense? It's a little bit, it's a nicer way of asking.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that one. Okay. Now, the second question, how else can you check that someone else has understood you? So these are the other phrases that we have. Can you read those for me?
Okay, so how else can you check that someone has understood you? Yes, it makes perfect sense. I can't really see. Can you read that? Because I can't really read the dialogue.
For example, we've got do you understand? Is that clear?
Okay.
Or are we on the same page? That's a nice one. Are we on the same page? Which means do we understand the same thing? So we've got those three there. Yeah, but for me, the one that I use a lot myself is, does that make sense? I find if you ask, do you understand? Maybe it's a little bit like got it, meaning a little bit aggressive. Do you understand? Is that clear? Or does that make sense? It's a little bit less aggressive. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Does that make sense? It's a very kind way of asking if somebody has understood you.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, we've all gotten to the end, and it's been a pleasure to do this today with Sarah. We've had a lot of fun. I hope
we have had a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of laughs.
Thanks for joining us, Diomira, and also to Mauro. Thank you very much.
Yeah. That's it for today, and hope to see you all soon.
Okay, thanks very much, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.